I understand your philosophy to a certain extent, and I understand where you are coming from.
Well, you don't understand it enough to know that it's not my philosophy, but all right, that's good. Couple of weeks, we're there.
Okay, yeah. So I would say, and at the same time,
that's an unnecessary remark. Okay, so he did not invent this philosophy, but because he espouses the philosophy which others have presented earlier, it does not mean that it is not his philosophy either, because if he espouses it, it becomes his philosophy. So philosophy is an idea, it's thoughts. If you are convinced of certain idea, or if you are convinced of some principle, or if you support some principle, that is your principle as well.
I am a person who wants to say that anything is impossible, because after all, it's probability and statistics. So I would say, I would give, if I were to give an answer in a few seconds, I would say 1% possibility that may be the case, but 99% no.
Well, because, so you said 90% no, 10% that I could be working with the covert harassers.
Oh no, 99%.
Sorry. So, hey, I made it into the 1%. Woo!
Yeah.
I'm rich. Now, do you think that they're also tracking what you do online and through computers and so on?
Absolutely.
Right. So they would know that you've been listening to my show, right? Right. So, I mean, if they had any idea, and also, if they can read your emails, right? You sent emails to my producer saying that you wanted to be in on this show, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
I'm not trying to get you going here. I'm just saying that in the worldview that you're bringing to this conversation, it's entirely possible that they would have gotten to me in some way, right?
No, not really, because you are not an unknown person. You are not an unknown.
Why is it a worldview? What does he mean by worldview? I'm not talking about the state harassing other people, or state doing this based on some principle. I'm talking about my experience of being covertly harassed. So where is the worldview involved here? I mean, and would a philosopher, a self-styled philosopher like Stefan, can we say that a philosopher like Stefan would have a worldview?
You have followers, you have your YouTube personality, and some people will say that you are a YouTube celebrity as well, and I think you are actually. So why would they risk? And because
I might blow their cover. Like if they come to me with, "You've got to talk about this with Sanjay. We want you to say this." I might blow their cover.
Yeah, you're too big a person. They might approach like a person who runs a store, but they are not going to approach Trump to say that, can you do this?
Right. No, because, I mean, I just want to point this out, because there are people who genuinely believe that I'm part of some sinister, larger network, that I'm some sort of gatekeeper, that I answer to the Zionist overlords, or,
Which people believe that? I have never heard him mention such people before. So obviously he's just making this up, because now he is moving into that mode where he starts mocking, and he starts mocking me, and mocking my assertion of being covertly harassed, and basically now he's moving into the mode where he is denigrating my assertions as being baseless and imaginary. So this is where this is going.
Like there are people who believe that I'm part of some, I don't know what, and I just want to say straight up to you and to everyone out there, I decide what I talk about. I am not part of any big conspiracy. I don't take money to alter my opinions or perspectives. I don't have any bat signals. I don't get any secret coded messages using my Batman decoder ring. I don't get any messages inside my Weetabix. I just am straight up. Now, I also fully understand that if I was part of a conspiracy, that's exactly what I would say, but this is part of the no-null hypothesis problem of this kind of mindset. I'm just saying.
So it does not use the term conspiracy theory because after all, he's part of the alternative media network, and that also has Infowars.com and Alex Jones, and so Stefan is also in the same category of alternative news providers like Alex Jones, who's always referred to by the mainstream media as conspiracy theorist, although if you go to his website there's hardly any conspiracy theory on there. So he does not use that term conspiracy theory, but he has to use something, so he's saying he's not part of any conspiracy, not conspiracy theory, he's not part of any conspiracy.
No one has contacted me, and I'm speaking to you straight, man to man, just so you know. All right.
Yes.
So let's go back to August 2008. What happened that was out of the ordinary, Sanjay, that led you to believe that you may be targeted?
Okay, absolutely. So I would go to the restroom and do my thing. I'll do the pee-pee, and then
like a number one, right?
Yeah, number one. Yeah, I always get confused with number one, number two, but it's number one. So I'll go do the number one, and then I'll.
So I'm using earbuds, and which have a microphone which is hanging around my neck, and when because I am also moving around, I'm walking here and there, because now I'm starting to feel that I'm really getting exposed, and my heart rate is increasing, and my breathing is also a little bit shallow, and I feel a little bit of pressure on my chest, which usually happens when my breathing is interfered with. So I'm moving around, so my voice is coming a little bit uneven because of this hanging microphone and me moving around and moving my head.
Hear a loud knock or a tap under the either on the roof or under the toilet. And
under the toilet? You mean on the floor under the toilet?
Yeah.
Boy,
yes.
That's a bad job, wouldn't you say? You know, like, hey, welcome to the covert harassment unit, my friend. We need you to stay under the toilet, just in case. We're going to bring him lots of water, don't get me wrong, but in case Sanjay has to go, we need you to stay under the toilet and knock. And they're like, can I get the roof thing? No, that's only after you've been here for a while. You've got to earn the roof. Before that, you're under the toilet. All right, so you get a loud knock under the toilet and
so I was
or
like,
on the roof, right?
Maybe, yeah. Actually, let's. Yeah, I don't remember distinctly. So, what I remember distinctly, it was definitely under the toilet. But in some other places, other locations, it might be on the roof also.
Now, of course, the first time this happens, right, you say to yourself, well, you know, plumbing makes sounds and things can shift around in the roof, and, you know, maybe there's a cat up there or, a big bird landed or so. For the first time, you're like, oh, that's right. You just kind of notice it, but you scooch on by it, right?
Exactly.
Okay,
exactly.
And then what happened?
And then I go again after a couple of hours or next day, and then it happens again. And okay, even that's fine. So it happens.
Sorry, what was that again?
So it happens again.
The next time you go to the restroom in a restaurant?
Yeah. So I go to the restroom, I do the pee-pee, and then it happens again. So that's also fine. I mean, it can happen 2 times.
And this is, sorry to interrupt, this is the same thing. This is the knock under the toilet?
Yes, yeah. Yes. And so it happens 5 times. And after it happens 10 times in a row, every time I go to the toilet, that's when I start, why is this happening? Is it my neighbor?
And this is a different restaurant, is that right?
No, not restaurant. This is my apartment.
Oh, it's in your apartment. Okay, sorry.
It never happens in restaurant.
Never happens.
It never happens. Yeah. So it's my apartment. So apartment I've been staying in for say 2 to 3 months. At that time.
Okay.
So after say 10 times, I start really thinking about it. That might be my neighbor who's trying to
just mess with your head or whatever, right?
Yeah, exactly. And so that's the way it started, and then it goes on, and then it just becomes a routine.
So my breathing is now 102 and my heart rate, my breathing is now 13.5 breaths per minute and my heart rate is 98 beats per minute.
So it becomes
20 times. So it becomes a routine. So it happens every time I go to the restaurant. And so that is the way it started.
Did you film any of this or record any of this?
Yes, at that time I did.
All right. Did you go to your landlord and say, there are these weird sounds coming from under my toilet?
So now he's getting to where's the evidence for all this?
No, I did not. It's not so. I mean, I wish I could, but it's not so straightforward to go to a landlord or something like that.
You are a man with complications. I will certainly say that.
Exactly.
Why can't you go to land?
So now he has started raising the pitch for denigration and for mocking me as a person, as an individual, because he's getting to where I'm an individual with all these imaginations.
Why I can't go to landlord? Because the landlord will come if he comes, and how would a landlord respond to that? So if a person reports, if a tenant calls the landlord and tells him that every time I go to the restroom, I hear this loud knock on the floor.
Well, you said you recorded it, right? So you'd play back the recording of you going to the washroom like 10 times in a row and this loud knock coming from under the toilet. I mean, if I were a landlord, I'd kind of like to know. So either I need to bring in an HVAC guy or a priest. Because you could play the recording, right?
Yeah, probably I could, but at that time I did not think that I had a credible. I think in hindsight it was a mistake not to have done that. But see, I mean, it's recording something like this. It takes a little bit of thoughtfulness to do something like this.
So you got a cell phone, right? I mean, just point and click, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, so you didn't.
Well, I mean, it's not so straightforward, and I did record some of such knocks, but then you take a knock like that to another person, and they're like, so it's a knock, what do you want me to do about it? I am not thinking about this as well at this point in conversation, because I'm feeling a little bit harried because of high heart rate and I'm feeling that I'm not speaking properly. But for Stefan to imagine that recording like that will solve all the problems, that uh, also sounds a little bit far-fetched to me, uh, particularly in the light of what is going to come next.
And you didn't play it to the landlord. So, did it continue for the length of time that you stayed in that apartment?
Yes, and then other things started happening also.
Like what?
So
this is all in the summer of 2008?
Yes. Then other things were that I would wake up after sleep. First I could, and then when I would wake up, I would be extremely woozy, and my eyes would be tired, although I have had a few hours of sleep, and my head would be heavy, and I was just feeling like I'm the fall. I mean, that's the term that I'm using for the first time, but I would feel like I'm disoriented, I am nauseous, and I'm not feeling normal. So it's kind of like if you have a high fever, then you know that your body is not feeling normal, and in fever you can measure the temperature, but in this particular in the experience that I had, I did not have a temperature, but I was feeling nauseous and disoriented, and my eyelids were heavy, and I felt like I was not able to keep my eyes. I felt like I had not slept at all while I had been unconscious for several hours.
So you'd wake up in the middle of the night and feel tired and woozy?
Sometimes in the middle of the night, but even when I woke up in the morning, then my head would be...
So I did not say that I would wake up in the middle of the night, so he's making this up. Did he hear it as waking up in the middle of the night? I never said that, so he's obviously imagining it, or he's getting somewhere with this.
Heavy, I'll be feeling tired and woozy, yes.
Well, you were going through a lot of stress at this point in your life, right?
Not necessarily. So actually,
yes, come on, Sanjay. Necessarily, you just broke up with your wife, right? Are you telling me that's not stressful?
Not really. If the relationship is not going well, it's abusive, and you are going through a lot of stress because of that. Actually, it is a relief. Once you have broken up, it is a relief. And I felt that.
Wait, how was the sorry, I may have missed this because I thought you just didn't get along. How was the relationship abusive?
Yeah. Well, it was bad. I mean, we were not speaking. We were, if we were speaking at all, it was always.
But that's stressful, right?
Exactly. So that was stressful when I was with. But as soon as I moved out, it just ended. That stress.
So you were going through stress. It's just okay. So it's possible, of course, it's possible. This doesn't explain the loud knock from under the toilet, but it's possible that you weren't sleeping that well because you were stressed. Okay. So did you?
So now he forces me to admit that I had some stress. Now the fact of the matter is that when a relationship has gone sour and you are arguing all the time, and anytime you speak turns into a discussion along negative lines, and you're afraid to speak, and so that is stress. When you get out of that stressful always headlights on kind of relationship, then that stress is gone. And I was personally happy that I was not staying with my ex-wife at that time. If you're in the same apartment, you have to you have to look at each other, and you have to do you every single moment that you spend in the apartment, small apartment, is in the vicinity of that person. It can be very, very stressful. So when I moved out, I was really happy. But he is forcing uh, me to accept that I was going through a stressful phase while I was not.
Go and see a doctor? So no.
Did I see a doctor? No.
No.
I don't think so. Yeah.
Why
At that time, no.
wouldn't you go and see a doctor? No landlord, no doctor. Why?
Yeah.
You got to check
because
your
maybe-
hormones. You got to check your blood work. You got to, it could be any number of things. Iron deficiency. I don't know. I'm not a doctor,
maybe
but
because I had guessed that I had guesstimated that doctor will not be able to do anything about this.
Why?
That's what actually happened when in 2015 I did go to LSC.
no. But
Great
sorry,
times.
why?
Yeah.
Look, if it's a natural course,
Yeah.
right? Like if you have some problem with your blood or your hormones or whatever, then the doctor can try and help you with that. If you've been poisoned,
Yeah.
then the doctor can say, "Hey, man, you've been poisoned," and then you have proof to bring to the police or something like that. So
No,
I'm trying to understand why no doctor in this situation.
Actually, I did explain. I take it back. So I did go because I was working at that time and I had health insurance. So I did visit my doctor
Oh, you did go to the doctor.
2-3 times during that period. Yes. Yeah. I mean, it was not specifically to.
Wait, how are we going from
yeah.
you didn't see the doctor to you did see the
No,
doctor? Because it sounds to me, Sanjay, I'm going to be
because-
perfectly honest with you.
Yeah,
It sounds
yeah.
to me like you said no doctor, and then I pointed out why it would be good, and you're like, oh, wait, no, I did see a doctor. So I'm having trouble trusting this
okay.
part of the conversation, to be very frank.
Yeah. Allow me to explain. So when you said that, did you see a doctor about this? So my thought was that did I see a doctor specifically about this, about what I was going through? And the answer to that is no, not about that specifically. But did I see a doctor at all? Yes, I did. So because I had a doctor at night, and I did go to him for the routine examination. I did explain to him my symptoms of what I was going through.
You told him about the waking up, feeling tired in the middle of the night, which is okay.
It's not only waking up in the middle of the night, but
So again, he says waking up in the middle of the night. I never even said that, so he somehow got stuck with that.
after waking up, the kind of experience that I had with my eyes being woozy, and my head being good.
And what did your doctor, did he take blood or she take
So my
blood? or
doctor,
what?
Now, waking up in the middle of the night does happen, and it does happen as part of this covert harassment. A major mechanism or technique of harassment is sleep deprivation. So these harassment agencies are able to use some type of energy devices so that they can wake you up no matter how fast asleep you are. And interestingly enough, or maybe not so interesting, if somebody is familiar with techniques of sleep deprivation and psychological torture. So, but to me, to a layperson, it's really interesting that very often they will wake you up on the hour. So it will be at 02 a.m. in the morning. And next time, so you wake up, you are sleepy, you fall asleep again. Then next time it will be 04 a.m. and you fall asleep again, and the next time it will be 05 a.m. or 06 a.m. So on the hour. So that's how effective these energy devices are. So waking up does happen, but I never mentioned that. But Stefan apparently already knows that waking up happens, and then wooziness when you wake up. So that probably is meant to